هذه الأجواء الجميلة في سان سيرو، وبعد الاستماع لموسيقى الدوري الإيطالي لكرة القدم بقي أن نذكر بأن هناك مباراة أخرى تقام في التوقيت نفسه تجمع بين فيورنتينا وأتلانتا، مع التذكير أن فيورنتينا أمام فرصة ذهبية للانفراد بصدارة الكالتشو الدوري الإيطالي كرة القدم. بقي نشكر مارسيل ديساي وحازم إمام، نلتقي بهما بإذن الله من شوطي هذه المباراة. ننتقل الآن إلى سان سيرو لنتابع معكم لقاء ميلان نابولي بتعليق الزميل العزيز أحمد طيب. أحمد مساء الخير وتفضل لك.
Milan, Montolivo with De Jong on the bench. You can see the hug between Maurizio Sarri and Sinisa Mihajlovic. Mihajlovic going to Empoli last year to watch Sarri at work, and while Mihajlovic was linked to the Napoli job in the summer, Sarri was also linked to the Milan job, but President Berlusconi decided he couldn't go for the Empoli coach at the time, and eventually De Laurentiis swooped, while Mihajlovic was caught in talks with Galliani, and those talks were quickly resolved with a 2-year contract for Mihajlovic. But the managing director of Milan has been asking, where is the 90 million we've spent? It has not been put on display that often.
Certainly, Napoli have worked well in the transfer market. Alan coming in and Husai from Empoli following Sarri, but as we were saying before, Higuain the main man, and Insigne as well has been in excellent form, and going forward Napoli one of the best teams in Serie A. I'm just going to say the atmosphere's wonderful this evening. Reminds me of the old times between Milan and Napoli. Similar atmosphere to the derby when we were here a few weeks ago between Milan and Inter, but this is Milan's home game tonight, and can they continue their good run at home?
In fact, 6 points out of the 2 home matches so far this season against Empoli and Palermo were the victories, while Napoli away from home have been struggling. No wins in the last 6. The referee blows the whistle. We have kick-off. Napoli getting the game underway. Koulibaly overhits the first pass. And after 6 seconds, Milan have possession. That was frenetic.
Well, now you see a lot of teams starting now in Italy with that long ball forward and trying to get the early ground up the pitch, and they're nearly ended up with Bacca getting a foot in.
First tussle in midfield, won by Montolivo. Header on by Albiol. Jorginho knocking the header down, looking for Higuain. Good to see also both teams wearing their classic kits. Higuain lays the ball off to Jorginho. Deschilio lets it run through to Diego Lopez.
And it's good to see Deschilio back in the right back position. We've talked about this one many a time, with him not being naturally left-footed. Antonelli back from injury and is a naturally left-footed player, so getting forward you've got players on the right and the left who can get into advanced positions, especially with Milan playing that front 2.
Gulam with the throw, he's taken a good few yards there from his own half into the Milan half. The referee let it continue. Here's Insigne. And the ball stripped away from him by Juraj Kucka. Chips the ball up to the halfway line. And Albiol got in between Bacca and Luis Adriano. Antonelli forward to his former teammate last season, Gemma Bertolacci. That's a dangerous pass infield by Callejon. Bonaventura. Montolivo. Bertolacci, Bacca, Bonaventura. Didn't pull the trigger when he had a glimpse of goal there.
Well, that's where you want the player who plays in behind the two strikers. When the ball comes out there, he's got to be able to shoot on target.
Montolivo with his chance now. Well off target from the Milan captain.
But bright start from Milan, and Bonaventura involved there, and then ball coming out. Montolivo, as you said, too high with his effort. Doesn't score a lot of goals, but he started brightly. He's got his confidence back, fully fit as well. Took a long time to get over that ankle injury, that fracture.
Reina now jumping Insigne. Montolivo lays the ball back to Zapata. Koulibaly going over the top there of Luis Adriano, but there's a free kick by the Milan number 9.
And just leaning back into the central defender.
Great ball into field for Hamsik. Hamsik. The flag is up, offside. Good run though by Gulam. Left hand side, unopposed.
Yeah, he started very brightly, hasn't he? That's twice he's got down that flank there, so she will have to watch that. That was just offside, wasn't a lot in it. The line there telling us that just half a body's width offside, but I said bright start from both sides. They're reacting, I think, also to the atmosphere within the ground as well. Wonderful occasion this, and it's a great battle between the north and the south of Italy, the industrial north of Milan, and down in the more the tranquil sunnier climes in the Bay of Naples.
Albiol with the clearance. Callejon again taking his eye off the ball as twice the Spaniard has made a simple mistake, gifting possession to Milan.
He's a player that sometimes takes a while to get into games. He's got immense talent, but at times makes the simplest of mistakes and basic errors, and then suddenly produces a wonderful piece of skill. Well, that's what you get with the Callejon. Insigne, I think, is a harder worker, more compact on the ball, doesn't give the ball away that much, and of course we know the strengths of Higuain. The will of a man getting forward and attacking defenders.
One thing though against Juventus was Callejon, the work rate, helping out as fullback at times. The referee has seen no infringement. As the ball breaks to Luis Adriano, driven straight into Koulibaly. Now Callejon, the pass to Husai. Alan. Great turn by Higuain, takes Eli right out of the game and spreads the pass out to Insigne. Hamsik's on the overlap. Insigne trying to stroke the ball through for Higuain.
Yeah, went for the more difficult pass there because defenders were sprinting back and Milan breaking quickly at the other end.
Bonaventura to Bacca, nobody inside the penalty areas for Milan. And that attack fizzles out. Reina with a quick clearance. There's the home side back in possession. Antonelli gives the ball to the captain Montolivo. Adriano. Di Sciglio. Lays it back into the centre of the field to Kuzka. Montolivo being harassed. Was under the bar by Alan.
I think that's what Alan's got to do in these early stages, really, Harry. Montolivo. Not with the ball being channeled through the middle, through the captain. As it should have been there and given away cheaply.
Eli, the youngster, in his return to Milan. His debut in Serie A was sent off. Being caught out by Kalinic, but not the only defender from a Milanese side to be caught out by Kalinic this season. Also Miranda last week at Inter. Eli getting his second chance, and still keeping out the likes of Alex.
That's good. Mihajlovic believing in the young players, Romagnoli and Eli would be the two regular starters, one feels, if Mihajlovic could rely on them to stay on the pitch. But young players learning the game at the top level, and the big games as well, in the atmosphere of those matches. And Romagnoli was a little bit unlucky and sent off last week, 2 yellow cards.
Excellent play by Kucka. Stays on his feet, looks to get the cross in. Comes off Gulam, corner kick for Milan. Excellent movement so far in the match by Giacomo Bonaventura. Perhaps finally understanding what's asked of him in that trequartista role.
Well, that's the position he's wanted to play since he arrived at the club, and he's been patient, and he's been given his opportunity and not found wanting.
Ball clipped into the penalty area by Montolivo. Very rushed by the captain.
Yeah, it's his first poor ball of the game.
There's Higuain, great throw out by Pepe Reina. Higuain, full speed against Zapata, shoulder to shoulder. The Argentine keeps possession.
It's a good South American battle there between the Colombian Zapata and Higuain, Argentine. Higuain out of the Argentina squad as well. Has to be a bit of a surprise.
Well,
Pulled up.
That stung him last week into action against Juventus because his place has been taken by a certain Paulo Dybala. There's a mistake over the far side by Husai. He's done well to give the ball in play.
And he had to work hard there just to get the ball back in his possession again.
Well, Bill doesn't give him a chance to catch his breath, but Napoli have a throw in the halfway line. Not a lightning start from the Neapolitans. Milan enjoying the better of the exchanges so far. Callejon, lay off by Higuain. Jorginho.
But Napoli are the danger side on the counter-attack, as they have shown so far.
Gulam, goal side of Kucka, taking on De Sciglio. Across to the arms of Diego Lopez. Doesn't have an option here for a quick ball out.
He'll take his time, and you can see there Napoli pushing players up to put a bit of pressure on the back line, but Elite with time needs to hurry up there. It's not the sort of ball that the goalkeeper wanted.
And Napoli back in possession. There's the quick passing introduced by Sarri. Crossfield pass though by Hamsey. It's covered by Mattia De Sciglio. Comes back.
Took the ball a long way and just checked back and allowed Milan to press across the halfway line, to build from the halfway line. Napoli so far allowing Milan to really build in their final third.
Side. Charged down by Antonelli. So the hand by Milan fullback.
Talking about competition for places in the Napoli side, Jorginho seems to have won his battle with Aldefiori for that centre of the midfield. Aldefiori started the season.
They made mistakes not expected from the player when he was at Napoli. The average correct highest passing rate. Made very few mistakes, but here is Luis Adriano picking up on a mistake in midfield from Napoli.
And that's where Milan are dangerous as well, when Bacca or Luis Adriano drop deep and one makes the run forward in behind the defence, just overhit that through ball on that occasion.
Good pressing again by Milan. And Bacca gets the break of the ball, lays it off to Kucka. The shot is jammed wide.
Well, that was a very promising position, but snapped at the ball there rather than taking his time. He was played in here, and as you can see there, his whole body shape was all wrong, and the effort well wide. But as you said, plenty of mistakes, keeping Milan going forward from Napoli, and we just saw a shot there of Sarri. Wasn't very pleased with the passing, especially on the right hand side. Who says giving the ball away cheaply on a number of occasions.
Napoli, who haven't returned home since their European endeavours. Right back just outside of Milan. Here's a terrible pass by Diego Lopez, putting pressure on young Eli.
Did well there, Eli, to look up, chip the ball into midfield, and Ventura in a bit of space. So Milan again starting from the halfway line. Seen a lot of Bertolacci, have we? I like a lot going further forward, further up the pitch, to run at defenders.
Milan fans have been asking themselves since the start of the season. There's a mistake by Zapata now. Insigne cutting across, ball rolled through, chance for Alan. Quality finish by the Napoli midfielder. It's his third goal since he arrived from Udinese, and Napoli are in front with their first shot on target, their first shot all evening.
Well, the mistake there from Milan, giving the ball away again cheaply. How many times have we seen that here at the start of the season of Milan? Just giving the ball away in dangerous areas. He can't do that against Napoli. That's why Allen's in the side. He breaks forward quickly from midfield. Look at that poor ball, and suddenly it's 3 against 3. Defenders have to watch the ball. They don't see the man coming in. Bertolacci as well. You've got to ask the question about Bertolacci. Why isn't he back there? He's in trotting back on the edge of the area. And Allen, a neat finish. We've seen him score a few goals like that. He scored one at Empoli. It's very similar, where he just goes into the penalty area and slides the ball home. And as you were saying,
but the point was, Insigne saw Allen signalling they wanted the ball played to him, and nobody from Milan did. And we got a first yellow card as well to Allen. But enthusiasm getting the better of him.
Exactly, after scoring. But just to go back again, another mistake in the Milan defence. We've seen it a lot at the start of the season, and it was something that maybe we thought Mihailovic arriving, who was a very classy defender, of course, would improve, but it hasn't at all. And unfortunately Zapata is again the culprit, who's been a few times this campaign so far, but that's an excellent finish. Had to stretch to get that ball, then steadied himself, and that's a very neat finish, isn't it?
And now Milan have conceded in 13 of the last 14 matches, 23 goals all told. Mihailovic likes to say over the last 2 seasons Milan conceded 99 goals. Well, they're keeping up that average this season. But from a positive point of view, they have scored in all of their last 11 home matches. They now need to make it 12 to get even. Fuchs dispossessed. Napoli on the counter-attack. Insigne.
He was looking for that, Insigne, wasn't he, down the line there? He flicked the ball up, then went over. But Napoli will be buoyed by that, as we were saying. Didn't start that brightly, but looked dangerous on the counter-attack, and then, if you like, were really gifted that opening goal.
And the thing is, that was just the one mistake from Milan. Napoli made 2 or 3. Milan didn't get into such positions in front of Reina. Reina yet to make a save. Napoli, with their one chance, capitalised.
No, absolutely. And that's where you'd want to see at the other end Bertolacci getting forward, but at the same time, if he's playing in the midfield, in the 3 in midfield, and not in the more forward position, which I think he's better suited for, he's got to get back there and cover Allen.
One of his most impressive matches, that is Bertolacci last season, was here at San Siro, playing for Genoa against Milan, and it was his running, his breaking from midfield, which was so impressive, causing untold problems for Filippo Inzaghi's side.
He had a good game last week in the second half at Genoa, when the side were down to 10 men. He played further up the pitch because Milan had to go for the goal, of course, and had an excellent game.
Hamsik, you least a life under Sarri.
Hasn't he? Now he's playing on that left side of midfield again. Not asked to be the playmaker and really the focal point of the side. That's very much now Insigne's role. One feels, and Hamsik can just drift around the pitch, playing like where he likes to play on that left-hand side, then cut it inside. And as you say, it's really come to the fore again under Sarri.
Yeah, felt caged in under Benitez. He doesn't seem to mind if he doesn't get his name on the score sheet that often.
Oh, absolutely, and he likes setting the goals up as well. He's got the 1 goal this season so far, but certainly played his part. That rejigged midfield, a lot more solidity and quicker movement as well. Napoli in that midfield.
Bonaventura. He's got to the byline here. Cross into the height of the penalty spot. Loose ball, driven in by Antonelli. Another counter-attack for Napoli. And he can't make any mistakes. Header forward for Antonelli. His header likewise forward, looking for Bertolacci. At the wayside, again in possession. Great control by Higuain. That was sublime. Still Higuain. The shot saved by Diego Lopez. Incredible skills by Gonzalo Higuain. That was worth the ticket alone.
Yeah, we want to see a replay of that again and again. That was world class, Higuain. The problem again was Bertolacci left the space, and Napoli were able to clear their lines from a tight position down on the right hand side. But wonderful play by Higuain. No doubt we'll be seeing that replay again and again.
Bacca. There's the ball to the penalty box. Luis Adriano. Find his teammate there.
And he was curled to the edge of the penalty box at a difficult height as well on the chest. Luis Adriano, very little he could do. And he could just chest the ball back. And you see here, Jorginho and Allen are commanding that central midfield. They're staying very close together, and when the ball drops down, they're first to it.
Jorginho, Milan to Insigne. Here Montolivo stepping in. It's well played by the captain. Kucka using his strength. As a player who turned the performance for Milan last week against his former side, Genoa. Bonaventura coming across. It's Bertolacci. Bonaventura standing start. Kucka. That was an intelligent pass back into the path, but the 1-2 wasn't completed because Bonaventura had stopped his run. Now Insigne. The pass that Higuain was looking for.
And Montolivo back covering well. Also, well, not Milan. Attack came to a halt, really. And they had to start from a standing start to allow Napoli to get everybody back. But there still was a room there to play the ball in, but no one making that run into the penalty area. And two strikers were just standing in there waiting for the ball to be played in. They needed a player from midfield to break forward. So 20 minutes gone, and it's been pretty much end-to-end stuff at times. And Napoli holding the advantage, looking confident, but Milan, they know that they're going to get a lot of the ball. An opportunity to attack Napoli. They've just got to get more players forward, take that chance a little bit.
Higuain's latched onto this pass. It wasn't meant to. Still Higuain. Cross too hard into the middle. Insigne made his run. There's the earlier control from Higuain. Shot.
Close enough. Lopez had to get down, hold on. There's a shot there for the players looking to the skies. Excellent start from Higuain.
He's looking very sharp. Koulibaly almost missing out against Luis Adriano. Simple pass overhead by the Milan captain.
There's a couple now that have been off target. Just the Napoli president. Is this going to be the year for Napoli? They're looking up there abouts, but there's the Milan chief executive, more stony-faced. It is a season for both sides, definitely Napoli, we'd say, up there for the title. And the coach will probably agree with us. Well, Milan, still a season. Can they get up into the top three?
Mihailovic says if we play as we did in the derby, or the first half against Udinese, or the second half against Genoa, then we'll be in for a shout for a top three finish. If we play played in the first half against Genoa, the second half against Udinese, won't even be in contention for Europe, not even Europa League.
I've got to say, Napoli have got the more experienced players for a title run than Milan, and of course you've got to cut out the errors as well, which is a problem for Milan at the back.
Koulibaly gets him in front of Luis Adriano. French defender stays down, but that's a great ball through the middle. Flags up against Higuain. Hugo Lopez was way off his line. Looks not too comfortable with the ball at his feet, the Spanish goalkeeper. Koulibaly didn't pull out of that challenge against Luis Adriano.
Just still half chances for Milan, just not dropping to a Milan player, just a Napoli foot always getting in there just in time.
Another half chance at the edge of the box. Bonaventura trying to backheel the ball for Luis Adriano. Now Bacca, shot driven into Gulam.
A bit more pressure again from Milan, and they're starting to spread the play wide here.
Good quick ball by Elin, nice fast pass again, with a chance for the equaliser. Bacca driving the cross in just behind Luis Adriano. After some quick thinking from Eli, then Antonelli.
There's Bertolacci finally in that position, and we like to see him getting forward on that left-hand side, playing the ball in. The flip forward there by Bonaventura, and Luis Adriano overrunning the ball. He's one of the greats of Milan central defence. Didn't give the ball away that often. Franco Baresi there in the crowd. Also we saw Paolo Maldini as well earlier on. And I don't want to say anything against the current defenders, but not in the same class as those two. Not many were.
The old conquering Milan. With the Dutch trio of Rijkaard, Kulik and Van Basten. Those tussles against Maradona's Napoli that lit up Serie A in the years of the 80s.
Yeah, it's what really turned Serie A from what many could say a very defensive game. Catenaccio, Italian playing on the counter-attack. 1-0 or 0-0 was the perfect result in Italy, and then that all changed. The arrival of Maradona, Napoli in the Dutch trio, as you said. Milan, Arrigo Sacchi's style of play as well. He transformed the Italian game, and certainly this season, I'm going to say Serie A has been very exciting.
Yes, round 7 come to a close without another 0-0. Bacca running into Gulam. Strange decision by Milan forward. Only 0-0 so far has been Carpi Napoli. Between the two, 5-0 wins for Napoli. They were held by the Serie A new boys.
Yeah, so that was a strange one indeed. It was one of those matches where Napoli threw everything at Carpi and just couldn't find the goal. And as we're seeing a lot of goals in Serie A over these first 7 rounds, and a lot of attacking football as well, and great technique as well. And from Arena as well at the back, very comfortable with the ball at his feet.
Koulibaly's header, touch on by Callejon. Higuain seems to be half a yard quicker than he was last season. Higuain.
Certainly won't be fatigued by going on international duty. So he'll come out of the blocks after the international break, no doubt.
Also rested for the most part of the Europa League game. He came on and scored a wonder goal. She almost copied again this evening. You see Balotelli with Niang looking on from the stands. Arena comes off his line, high feet by Luis Adriano.
A free kick, and certainly at the moment Napoli don't look at all fatigued from their trip to Warsaw. And as you said, they came back, they did the right thing. They came back, flew into Milan, settled into their camp here, and treated it like another European game as well. So they've been away for quite a while from home, but they're well supported here this evening. A lot of Napoli fans here in the San Siro travelling to the ground this evening. The trains were full of them, and they're enjoying this first half so far. Their side by that single goal from Alan.
Neapolitans who perhaps already taken up a residence in Milan or in the north of Italy have mingling around with the Milan fans outside the ground before the start of the game. Napoli, let's remind ourselves that there have been 6 changes from the team. One in Warsaw, the likes of Dries Mertens, who was on fire in that match, has to settle for a place on the bench again. But he's a player that Sarri can turn to in the second half if he needs some fresh impetus.
They've got a very strong squad this year. You've got Maggio as well in the right back position. Gabbiadini as well to come on, exciting young Italian player. It's a good strong squad for Napoli to use in Europe and in the league.
Bonaventura, it's a corner kick. Couldn't get away from Gulam. But a set piece for Milan as they still trail by a goal to nil. The goal scored in 13 minutes by Alan. Set up by Insigne. It was set up by a poor clearance by Christian Zapata, looking to make amends from this corner kick. Bonaventura looking for Zapata. Hit away by Albiol. Montolivo again, scooping that ball up high. And that's high feed by Kucka. Referee draw the second yellow card of the match. No.
Let's have a look again. Oh, very high foot there. Catching right on the forehead. He's okay. And once again, after a very bright start from Montolivo, the last 3 passes been nervy to say the least. As you're saying, perfectly scooped up to the opposition to break forward, as you said there, Paul. That was the way it was. Instead of getting the ball down, looking confident on the ball as he was in the opening stages, he's really gone off the boil. And they need Montolivo, creative influence through the midfield to be on his game.
Well, certainly the choice by Mihailovic to bring in also De Jong into the press conferences, as if he had 2 captains there, which would have undermined Montolivo or given him more inspiration to actually claim that armband is his.
It's a tricky one, that's discussions between Mihailovic and De Jong. De Jong's on the bench. He was playing on the right side of midfield as well. Udinese in that position.
There's a run here by Bertolacci. That's what the Milan fans want to see. Bonaventura can't get the cross in. Bacca in frustration kicks the far post.
He was just a little bit off the pace there, Bonaventura. That's something that he lacks, is that really quickness off the mark, and to also keep going at a good pace. But finally we see Bertolacci breaking forward.
Bonaventura's corner kick. He reaches a teammate, who's Adriano, who heads over.
Decent ball played in, dropping right onto the head of Luis Adriano, but in fact it came off Albiol and then hit Luis Adriano. That's a great shot there. The players got up, going over the crossbar. Finally we see Bertolacci breaking forward. And as you're going to say, Napoli at times it looked a little bit stretched at the back. It's just that Milan don't have that real pace from Bonaventura to come forward and just open them up.
Zapata, 2 important tackles there, but he's now out of position if Napoli play the ball quickly.
Absolutely, took the ball forward. He was going nowhere really there, wasn't he? He was leaving a situation where Milan could have been stretched at the back.
The Shilio slotting into the centre defensive role immediately while Zapata was up in no man's land, and Kucka covering the full-back. So that was well drilled by Milan. Not in possession. And Seek, then Bonaventura having a crack at Insigne. The referee has let continue. Here's Higuain, dropping deep, goes past the first man, his shot drilled across face of goal. And every time he gets the ball, Higuain, he looks dangerous.
Yeah, every time he gets the ball, he just wants to get their shot and the cross into the area. The shot across the face of the goal there, but beyond any player, and Bonaventura booked. And for that late challenge on Insigne. Just a little bit of frustrations there for Bonaventura, able to get into the game in that all-important position, because he knows he's got the likes of Honda breathing down his neck to play in that position behind the front two.
And again,
Bertolacci maybe as well.
As we said about Montolivo, started the first 5 minutes promisingly, and Bonaventura likewise, since gone off the boil. Bonaventura losing out on that challenge. He's in possession now. Runs straight at Jorginho.
His players
Hamsik is down injured once again.
And Kuczka as well was down out of picture. He's finally on his feet, hobbling along there. There's that sliding challenge there from Montolivo. And Hamsik stays down, Porto on the ankle. And we're lingering on Bonaventura there.
Insigne is back on the pitch.
But, it's getting a feisty encounter, isn't it? There's a challenge from Insigne. On Insigne, excuse me, from Bonaventura, right through there. Taking no prisoners, as they say in football parlance.
Certainly had no chance of getting the ball. It's a nasty side we're not used to seeing from Jacopo Bonaventura.
No, as I say, and that's it from the frustrations, isn't it? From being able to be an influence at all in that very important position behind Bacca and Luis Adriano.
You see these wonderful slow-mos. The skills of the players on display. It's Napoli just edging this match. Serie A round 7. The Sunday evening showdown at the San Siro. Kuczka gives the ball away to Insigne, but Higuain runs into trouble. There's Eli. Long ball through the middle, header on by Bacca. And Napoli clear their lines. Eli, you could just sends Higuain ready to pounce on any mistake by the young central defender.
Just when he's uncaged, sprinting forward in the heart of the Milan defence. Every time the ball's played over the top, the two central defenders can sense his presence and they start to worry. Tonelli getting back there and just getting a foot in, caught late, free kick to Milan. And again, have to try to work this ball through the midfield, but Jorginho and Allen don't really mention them on the ball much, but the work they do at just cutting out the forward pass and then playing the ball, the simple pass on that occasion wasn't so from Goulam.
Milan craft something inside the Napoli box here. Kuczka couldn't bring the ball down, just eventually hooks the ball back into the middle. Antonelli, the ball didn't sit down for him, remained at an awkward height. And number 31 skied his effort over the crossbar. Reina yet to make a save with 10 minutes to go in this first half.
The first ball played in by Bonaventura was overhit and it was just hooked back across the face of goal. Hopeful, really. And as you say, Tonelli skying his shot wouldn't come down quickly enough for him. And to have chances for Milan, you've got to say, Napoli aren't, I wouldn't say that secure at the back, really.
They're certainly not watertight. The chances will come for Milan. Do they believe, though, they can actually create something inside the penalty area? As we see David Lopez warming up for Napoli on the touchline. Hamsik, though, has continued. It doesn't seem to be in that much pain. He's running freely. Offside. Milan defence stepping up well there. Perfect line.
Very close call. Decision, but they get it. Yeah, but that's probably just a precaution there. Lopez through his warm-up.
Koulibaly wins the header. Kept in by Hamsik. Jorginho. Again Hamsik. Insigne. Wonderful control by Insigne. Ball was driven right at him from close range and it stuck like glue.
Took the ball down well, but Jorginho's been impressive. It's one touch, two touch, never there. He took 3 touches. That's the most he's taken in the game. It was in a tight space as well. And he demands the ball even in tight space and he'll give it back. These are players full of confidence to do that. And that's why Jorginho's in there more than Valdefiori. Just to keep that ball moving. That's how Sarri likes his teams to play. We saw that with Empoli to a certain extent last season.
Bonaventura, a mistake by Insigne. cuts out the danger. Alan, space in the centre of the park for Hamsik. 1-2 with Higuain. Perfect understanding. Insigne now. There's nobody on the outside. Cuts inside. Shot blocked by De Chilio. Now Baka against Koulibaly. Shoulder to shoulder. And Koulibaly comes out on top.
How strong, isn't he? He didn't intend to go there. Baka was, well, I wouldn't say he wasn't going at full pace, but he didn't seem really that interested in winning the ball. And just looking in midfield as well, looks Montolivo completely gone. He's unbelievable from 1 minute to the next. He was caught out of position, he was trailing to get back there, he was huffing and puffing to get back. Unbelievable. Not even at the half-time, well before the half-time interval. And that Milan midfield suffering.
Montolivo. It's his foot on the ball. Turns away from Hamsik.
He had to do a lot there just to get the ball out wide.
De Chilio. The ball back to Montolivo. He's going to pull the trigger here. Blocked by Alan. Now Callejon. The quietest in the Napoli side in the first half. And he just chips the ball straight out of play again. As if he's just not arrived at the races, Callejon.
He's has to do a lot of more defensive work, as you were saying before. And Fat hasn't really got into the game, but a lot of Napoli's attacks coming down the left-hand side with Insigne, Hamsik, Goulam, and almost ignoring that right-hand side.
Montolivo slides across, sends the ball directly out of play for the throw to Napoli. Into the 40th minute, Sarri's side will be determined to hold on to their advantage to go into the break. Bonaventura trying to turn back in to the centre of the park, but he ran into Alan, the goal scorer. Montolivo gives the ball away, wins it back, gives it away again. Now Higuain asks Callejon to switch on the motors. Here's Callejon. Zapata cuts out the pass. Lacking conviction there, Callejon.
Yeah,
Hamsik.
Definitely, that should have been a better ball, but still Napoli coming forward.
Alan finds Hamsik. Ball cut in for Higuain. Deflection from Zapata, corner kick.
Yeah. Should have been 2-0 really. Higuain around the back heel. He could have wrapped his foot around the ball, but still he has a handful. And again, Milan just giving the ball away. It was given away in the final third, Napoli's final third, by Montolivo, muscled off the ball.
And then at the other end, at the edge of the box, Rossoneri again guilty of not keeping possession. After Callejon had played a simple cross in, which should have been easily defended. Now Milan find themselves defending this corner kick in the 41st minute. Free header for Koulibaly. Back it across the face of the goal. And Higuain tried to just prod the ball into the net from inside the 6-yard box.
He was left completely free there. Everyone was. Koulibaly with that header. No one marking him. Look at that. Higuain just sticking out a foot almost.
Higuain
complaining the ball home.
He was having his shirt tugged. That's why he couldn't actually make a move towards the ball. A poor clearance out by Diego Lopez. Back to goal. It's hopeful.
Isn't it? Just hopeful ball. Play it down. Jorginho gets the ball down. First passes sharp, straight to a blue shirt. Watch again. One touch, ball's away. Keeps the team going forward.
And again, he's in possession for the ball. If he's not available, Alan will arrive, and here he is. I've got to say, the way they play Napoli is very similar to Fiorentina. There's always a midfielder spare for possession. In no rush to play the ball. Easily in control. Stan Higuain dispossessed though. It's a quick interchange back up to Bonaventura. Goes down at the edge of the box and looking for the free kick. Not awarded. And this counter-attack, Alan disappointed, and Bonaventura threw himself to the ground in that fashion. Insigne appended by Zapata. And the Milan fans not happy with the referee's decision-making, but in my opinion, he got both spot on.
Well, yeah, Bonaventura was going nowhere really. Alan had him and he was just leaning into him. Is this going to be Mihailovic off here?
Yes, the referee indicating that Mihailovic should. It's not Mihailovic, it's somebody from in the dugout.
Mihailovic there's getting up close and personal with the referee.
It was exactly what camera was on him, so he turned his back. Sinisa Mihailovic. His
assistant coaches. Let's see this again. It's definitely a foul by Zapata. That other side of his Alan knew which way Bonaventura was going and just leaned into him. And then Bonaventura just threw himself to the ground, really. And there wasn't too many complaints from the Milan players, that's for sure. And then the break was on, of course, they had to get back. But, really, Napoli, 1-0 to the good. Actually want to go into the second goal, really. And they've had their opportunities to get that second goal. Milan, nothing going forward, as you said, put in and not tested at all. And no doubt with Mihailovic really storming into his side at half-time, there'll be a reaction from Milan in the second period, no doubt about that. There has to be.
But Mihailovic said that Napoli were the last team they wanted to meet after that defeat to Genoa. They changed his tune throughout the week, but Napoli are a dangerous side, even when their backs are to the wall, because on the counter-attack they're so quick to break forward.
And just offside again. There's that ball played in, and absolutely right there from that angle. As if Higuain been dragged to the ground. It would have been a terrible moment for Milan, a penalty against them in the first half.
Strong arm of Rodrigo Eli, holding Higuain at bay.
I'm going to ask where's Bonaventura going half the time, and he's just head down, trying too hard, obviously, to impress, and just more and more frustrated. Milan got to get back to basics, because that's how they started so well. First 5-10 minutes, just playing the ball around. They looked very sharp and comfortable, and just went out the window all of a sudden.
Zapata, it was his mistake though that unsettled the side, his mistake that led to the goal from Alan. The goal still separates these two teams. 2 minutes of time added on in this first half. Bonaventura on the right hand side, cross drilled into Gulam. There's a throw for the home side, De Sciglio. Bonaventura. Montolivo, edge of the box. He's lost out again, Montolivo. Counter-attack for Napoli. It's a 5 against 4. Callejon, can he pick his pass? No. Goes behind Hamsik. Kuczka steps in. And then the header forward by Bacca. Doesn't find Bertolacci.
No. Error-strewn passage of play by both sides. Callejon hasn't got into the game, poor decision-making. And then when the ball went on the other end, poor header on by Bacca. Summing up the first half, really, it's been times very scrappy, has to be said, but Napoli well worth their advantage. We see a much more composed Milan in the second half. Frenetic, trying to get that ball forward.
Napoli lead though by a goal to 0, even though, truth be told, with Callejon playing the way he has been, they've been playing with 10 men in the first half. The last counter-attack coming from another mistake from Riccardo Montolivo. And Zapata trips up Insigne. Not sure the Napoli number 24 was ever going to reach the pass, but risky play again by Milan in defence.
A bit slow getting back there. They knew that the Napoli forwards were closing in on them again.
Montolivo's got to play the ball quickly. One touch, finds Bonaventura, again taking on Gulam. Gets the ball to De Sciglio, low crossing. Koulibaly gets in the way, and the referee blows the whistle to end the first half with Napoli 1 goal in front against Milan. Be sure to join us for the second half for these two teams, which has been an entertaining contest so far. It'll continue after the break. Don't go away. Welcome back to the San Siro for the second half between Milan and Napoli. Milan trailing by a goal to nil. The goal scored by the man who's just in your picture, Alan, on 13 minutes. And the Rossoneri facing a 4th defeat this season already, unless they turn things round in the second half. Maurizio Sarri had a stern word with the referee before the teams went in at the break, unhappy with a couple of decisions just before half-time. As Rizzoli sent off Sinisa Mihailovic's right-hand man. Also Mihailovic unhappy with some of the decisions. He's been quite feisty out there. Had a yellow card per team, Alan and Bonaventura. But the main chances coming for Napoli through Higuain in inspired form. Milan needs something from their forwards in the second half. The referee gets us back underway. Eli launches the ball forward.
Well, certainly in the first half, very frantic at times the match, and we just had the 1 goal. We could have had certainly a couple for Napoli, at least one for Milan, with a little bit of more composure going forward from both sides. But Napoli just holding that advantage. I think composure is the big word for the second half for Milan. If they want to get back into this game, they give the ball away far too easily in advanced positions and allowed Napoli to break on the counter-attack.
Milan, who have forgotten what a clean sheet feels like, but also they've forgotten how to draw matches. They either win or they lose, which means they're always there or thereabouts, because they might be dropping 3 points one week, but then they're picking up 3 the next. But it does seem quite difficult for them ever to string a run of victories together.
Yeah, that was the problem last year. Inconsistency. It's followed them this campaign as well so far. But it feels if they can just get a foothold in that midfield area, if that midfield 3 can get closer together and start to dominate the Napoli midfield 3, and Milan can get the ball forward into Luis Adriano and Bacca.
Insigne, lovely touch by Higuain, but Zapata read it well. Loose ball in midfield for Jorginho. Tick-tock in the centre of the park for Napoli. For all the calls for Juraj Kucka to be inserted from kick-off. He has been playing from the start, but not much of an influence in the match. Is it easier for a Milan player to come off the bench to make an impact? Jorginho to Hamsik. Napoli.
Well, they do have Poli, who would be the obvious one to come on. He was warming up at half-time. Napoli, very slick passing here.
Have the ball through for Insigne. Quality finish. Lovely 1-2, as it was last week against Juventus. Napoli do it again. Insigne and Higuain, and just like last week, after the goal, Insigne goes down injured.
Well, what can you say, really? Just waltzed through the Milan defence. We're talking about composure, and it's Milan, or excuse me, it's Napoli that have provided at the start of the second half, where they just played the ball around with intent. When that ball came back out again, they had plenty of players coming forward. Look at that, look at the Milan players, all not together, not grouped together, leaving far too much space. Wonderful play between Insigne and Higuain, and then Insigne there just curling that ball beyond Diego Lopez, who got a touch to it but couldn't stop it going into the back of the net. But that all came about when the ball was cleared by Zapata. It was immediately there was a Napoli player, Alan, onto the ball quickly, winning back possession high up the pitch. Milan have got all to do now. 2-0 down at home against Napoli here.
Milan trying a reaction immediately, but they're not even going to get the corner kick out of it. Bonaventura running down again the cul-de-sac instead of running into open space, and here's the move again, seen from up on high. And a lovely link up again between Higuain and Insigne. They are speaking the same language this season. As I mentioned in the build-up, Napoli, a team in perfect harmony. It's another off night for Milan, at least so far.
There has been too many players, likes of Bonaventura, Bertolacci, Puchka, not getting in the game, as you said, leaving a lot for Montolivo to do, and he's been overrun in the midfield. But look at this one-touch football. It is a delight, isn't it? It's a bit like the game against Lazio, where they looked like Barcelona in their prime, and it's the same this evening at times. Here they come again, sweeping forward, so many players, hamsick.
This time Eli feeding away the danger, but the possession straight back to Napoli, and their confidence is brimming over. Callejon, here's the ball back, and Alan disappointed with himself.
That's a pretty poor shot there on that occasion, but here's the goal. It wasn't poor at all, wonderfully directed into the far corner. And there's Napoli fans enjoying this Milanese night. Insigne picking up a slight knock there, but able to run it off. Once again, when the ball was cleared there, that last move, dropping to a Napoli player. And in the first half, we saw at the other end when Napoli cleared the ball, at times not that well, but it would drop to one of their players, because they would have a midfielder dropping back in there, Jorginho and Allen, to help out. Not for Milan, and their clearances have just dropped to the opposition because the midfield aren't coming back to help out with the defence.
Antonio Conte has come to have a look over the Italy players that he's called up to his squad. Not many on the Napoli side, just the one, but he's found the back of the net and is in scintillating form. While the likes of Bertolacci, Montolivo, Bonaventura, Antonelli still got some convincing to do.
De Sciglio in the squad as well. But Napoli control of this game here right at the start of the second half as well. Perfect time to increase the advantage.
Now Sarri said after that victory over Juventus, what he liked from his side was the reaction to losing a goal after being 2-0 up. The heads didn't go down. He said, I've shown my side have grown in confidence, have grown in stature. And here, the idea will be not to let Milan back into the game and to add further to their tally.
No, absolutely, and Milan just need a period of settling down. Still a long way to go. As we always say, 2-0 can be the most dangerous scoreline in football. And the opposition back into the game. But really, it started this second half, Milan not creating anything, and no confidence running through the side at all. Expected a bit more, didn't you, coming out from the start of the second half? Mihailovic team talk, reading the riot act, really. But, hasn't had an effect.
Well, Mihailovic has been reading the riot accents pre-season.
Maybe they've heard it all before.
You're constantly seeing your coach screaming at you. Wears off after a while. Insigne goes down inside the box. The referee says no thank you.
Yeah. Higuain getting ahead of Zapata. Just flicking the ball in there, but no complaints from Napoli. But once again, just a simple through ball. Higuain's chasing after it, and Milan stretched at the back.
Bonaventura hits away from Alan in midfield. Pulls the ball into the path of Bacca. Taking on Albiol, the offside flag is up and the attack breaks down.
Yeah, once again, when Bonaventura does find space, it's immediately that ball in behind. They're looking to the strengths of Bacca, which are really just head down at the moment. A player that impressed at the start of the season, but it seems to have dropped off this game since the last international break. And there's a catch there. That was it. You've got to say from that angle, got away with it. Zapata, didn't he?
Didn't he? Because said nobody was complaining, nobody apart from Higuain. He was on the receiving end. He knew fine well there'd been contact. Koulibaly hasn't put a foot wrong so far this evening. Onto the ball. Eli, that's the same at the other end for the central defenders for Milan.
That's for Milan. We're putting pressure on the Napoli defence, and then the long hopeful ball played down the pitch, and Milan not quickly, two centre defenders not quickly back there to get the ball under control and build again, and then Napoli have possession high up the pitch once more. Just got a shot there of Balotelli, and Boateng, who's back training with the team. And
Muntari, who asked to be released last season. He's also back training.
Maybe he'll be back training as well. But, it's the players out on the pitch, the players in the squad need to step up and look a little bit ragged there in that centre defence. Nelly having a tough evening again. A player, of course, who was playing in Serie B last season.
And Avellino was so impressive though that Milan bought him back through the youth system under Rossoneri. But he's finding it tough going indeed in the top flight.
No, especially against it. It's been unfortunate in a way. He's come up against the likes of Fiorentina, who have been in excellent form. Napoli, as you said, very similar to Fiorentina with their quick passing, keeping the ball, being patient, waiting for the opportunity. But in no way being boring at all, and doing that always with the positive attitude to get the ball forward.
And adding another 2 goals to their credit. Looking good for even another, you've got to say. Milan heads have dropped. Jorginho taking 2 touches this time before releasing the ball. Usain couldn't ding the ball over the top.
But then Milan just play it forward into no man's land.
And Alessio Cerci will come on. The first change for Milan replaces Bertolacci. And again the question rings out round Meazza. Where is Bertolacci? Who's the player that we bought who was so impressive last season at Genoa? What do we have this season at Milan? €20 million worth. Well, you've got to say the player himself didn't set the price tag.
No, absolutely. Can't blame the player. But in space there. There's the Shilio.
Acres of space for Gulam wasn't picked up. Alan, chance for his double. His first touch was poor.
And Higuain the first to throw his arms out in annoyance. The ball wasn't played to him, but Alan again bursting forward from midfield. You've got to say that space was left there. The Shilio had pushed right up. Cerci chasing back, had just come off the substitutes bench.
Cerci, who was asked to go out at half-time to warm up, but actually stopped for a quick chat with Omar El Kaddouri, former teammates at Torino. Hasn't stopped him from setting off at full pace.
And he can provide that little bit of creativity off the cuff. That's something that Milan desperately need.
Higuain getting frustrated, is not getting a foul his way. Here's Montolivo, gives the ball straight to Insigne. That is the worst pass of the evening by Montolivo.
Wasn't much better from Higuain either. You can see that maybe Sarri might make a change with Higuain. He's really gone off the boil, hasn't he? I think just tiring slightly, but that first half was impressive. This man isn't tiring. Alan.
He feeds Higuain. Hamsik, shot blocked by Zapata. Alan, who has been compared to Alemão of old. Koulibaly stands firm once again against Baka. And Baka has a little go. The official behind the goals.
Going over there once again. He's had a tough evening. A little bit different from playing in Spain here in Italy. The defenders are close on you, very physical. You've got to be strong in there. The challenge is stand up for yourself.
Bonaventura wins the foul. Eli. Not seen much on the left-hand side of Antonelli. China likes to push forward in support of the attack. Bonaventura wins another foul. Tripped by Usai.
Well, for Milan, they've just got to keep their heads, try to keep that composure. And you never know, get one goal back, suddenly Napoli could start reeling. We've seen before Napoli throw away good leads in the past.
They conceded 2 goals to Sampdoria in quick succession the second half. Down to San Paolo. Bonaventura fights in the free kick. The header by Eli. And Reina finally asked to make a save on the hour mark.
Well, it was a half chance, good flicked header to the back post. Reina, full stretch, gathered easily in the end. But a half chance there for Milan. Give them a bit of confidence.
Koulibaly on the deck to Higuain. Quick ball into Hamsik. Defense possession well. Jorginho feeds the ball through for Insigne. Rolls the ball into the path of Callejon. Poor first touch by Callejon. And allows Antonelli to close down. That should have been 3-0, and Callejon then slides in. And we'll get a yellow card for his frustrations. That should have wrapped up the match.
It should have, absolutely. And that sums up Callejon's evening. Every touch has been heavy. Unbelievable there, player of his standard. We're saying that the foul, which we don't really need to see. We want to see the move. And all he needed was just get a good touch on the ball, and he was one-on-one with the goalkeeper. And selfish from Insigne, who's released through the middle again, a gaping hole in the centre of that Milan defence.
Just like the opening goal scored by Alan, and the midfielder was signalling where he wanted the ball to be played. Insigne did the same, and he wasn't followed by any Milan player at all.
Could be another break here as well if Hamsik just decides to take on Montolivo. Doesn't do so, decides to keep possession, and Milan can regroup at least.
Gulam's gone down here, caught by a straight hand from Kutska. Is that painful? Here's Insigne, generous to Callejon. Number 7's first touch forced him wide, and allowed Antonelli to come in and make the block and keep Milan in this match.
That first touch, just a gentler touch on the ball, and then it was into good shooting position without having to stretch. And it's again space here, and on both flanks, and especially down that left-hand side. Napoli.
Gulam has got acres of space against De Sciglio. Cerci has not been asked to cover back. With another foul. Milan don't seem to be able to play their way back into the game. It can only come from individual inspiration or a mistake from Napoli. But Sarri has been hammering it into his team. How to conduct themselves when in front and to eradicate any sloppiness. See what Cerci can do. Can he inspire something? The substitute plays the ball loosely into midfield. Now Antonelli. coming forward, not with any real conviction. Antonelli, Bonaventura cutting infield, is allowed to by Napoli. It's Adriano, lays the ball off to Antonelli, goes down, and the referee will book him for diving.
Yeah, he just trotted into the penalty area there, and there's no need for Albiol to go over and start arguing with the referees. Just produced the yellow card. Let's have a look again, and you can see there, well, throwing himself to the ground. It was a terrible dive as well, wasn't it? He's got his foot there and threw himself into Albiol and booked. But really, Milan have got to attack as a unit. It was just Montolivo coming forward. No one was getting close to him to provide the little 1-2s to draw Napoli out of the defence.
And a match that Mihajlovic described as the turning point for his team. Well, if this is the turning point, no ways down. It's another tough fixture after the international break, away to Torino.
Absolutely, yeah, it's another hard-working side, but in a different vein. It may give Milan a chance to play more on the counter-attack, more as we saw them in the derby, where they quickly got the ball forward. Napoli didn't give them that opportunity this evening, maybe in the first 5-10 minutes, but after that they didn't. And then Milan's passing just been all over the place, very dreadful is the only way you can describe it at times.
But Napoli on their toes and snapping into the tackles in midfield, Insigne included, also Higuain. Intense pressure from the front players for Napoli, as Sarri has asked his team to defend from the highest position up the pitch. Cerci comes across to Montolivo. Bonaventura again cutting back in onto his right foot, has the shot blocked. Still Bonaventura hustling away.
Had to go the long way around. He's come more out to the left-hand side, that position where he played last season. Not really as a support player. Cerci's playing on the right. That's going out the window. It's 3 up front for Milan, 3 in midfield.
Montolivo. It's Adriano. No opportunity for the Milan strikers in this match as another Milan player falls down at the edge of the box. There's Alessio Cerci. Higuain couldn't find the pass, but De Sciglio gets into trouble. And Higuain steps in. He's got Hamsik in support, but Higuain might not want it, and he takes on Eli. And he just gets a yellow card this time. He must have been fearing a second red in his second appearance in Serie A.
Yeah, it was very close to a second red, wasn't it? Higuain showed him the inside and then goes on the outside, and that's a clear foul. Luckily Zapata was coming back, sort of. I mean, you're given the benefit of the doubt here. Here's at the other end. I mean, that could have been a foul as well, really, on Cerci. But he went over, and next minute the ball's up the other end of the pitch, and Napoli have a free kick in a dangerous position with Insigne over it.
The main difference seems to be down to a sense of purpose. Napoli know what they're about, they know what has been asked of them, and they know where their teammates are going to be when they're in possession. Milan still don't seem to have a firm game plan under Mihajlovic. They won't be going unnoticed from Mr. Galliani watching in the stands, or even the president, Mr. Berlusconi. He's not enjoying his happy birthday. As the free kick comes in, goal number 3. Lorenzo Insigne take a bow.
Well, wonderful strike, but Diego Lopez was across there and thought very slowly. There's only one place he could really put it from that position, wasn't it? Over to the goalkeeper's right. If he was putting it to the left, there's a further distance to travel. You need a lot of power and depth to curl it in on that side, but a fine goal from Insigne. No wonder the national team coach is enjoying that. But from there, really, Diego Lopez, 1 stride, 2 strides, he's crossed and he's pushed the ball into the back of the net. Not taking anything away from the free kick. It's well struck, but still there. Expect the keeper to save that, don't you? He's got the hands to it.
But it was right over the wall, up and down. Diego Lopez was covering the other side of the goal. And Insigne, 3 goals in 2 matches, puts Juventus and now Milan to the sword.
Well, this is a tough one for Milan. Expected a lot more from them this evening, and they've really come unstuck here. Last week at Genoa, they had a terrible first half. They turned it around when they were down to 10 men a little bit in the second half, but still lost. Tonight they had a good 10 minutes, but then after that they've been non-existent really, without Napoli having to play that well, and they have in small patches of the game.
But even there you can see Higuain, his team have just gone 3 goals up. What does he do? He goes chasing down, harrying the last defender, putting pressure on him, and that is part of the purpose of this Napoli side. They're driven by Sarri. You can't say the same for Milan. There's no real drive behind them. Mertens will come on, as Insigne will eventually take an actual bow. Tonelli couldn't fall down this time after making a decent run through the Napoli defence. Dries Mertens, if he turns on the form that we saw on Thursday, then could be further damage for Milan.
Yeah, still 20 minutes remaining. Milan need to find a goal at least to lift them. And of course not concede another, not at home, not to go further behind. 3-0's bad enough, but here's a chance.
Kucka drives it straight into Gula. Montolivo is allowed to get out of trouble there from Jorginho. Montolivo taking touches in the risky pass right in front of Higuain. Tonelli puts the ball in for Bonaventura, turns away from Jorginho. This is better from Bonaventura, but Hamsik comes in to help his fellow central midfielder.
Well, he looks at
those 3 are working excellently as a unit.
Bonaventura looks a lot more comfortable there out on the left, doesn't he?
That's where he grew up at Atalanta, despite arriving as a trequartista, the club from Bergamo. He was just a kid.
Very impressive from Napoli in the midfield, as you say. Great work rate from Jorginho and Allen, and of course helped out by the fact that you've got Insigne and Higuain, lightning quick, carry on. Probably the worst of the trio. A good opportunity.
And then Ole is going round with Giuseppe Meazza every time the Napoli players string the passes together.
They're turning it into the San Paolo here in the north of Italy, to the Citadel. The Neapolitans have come up here, and it looks as if they're going to go away with the 3 points, and not just that, but also a little bit of a humiliation for Milan to lose 3-0 at home to Napoli. Have to go back through the list of matches to see the last time that's happened.
There was that spate of matches from the late 70s to the early 80s that Napoli actually were defeated just once in 6. Last season they came here as favourites but were swept aside by Inzaghi's Milan.
That was a rare glimpse.
Menez.
Yeah, that was a rare glimpse of Milan at their best. But then when Milan went down to Napoli, it was 3-0 down there as well.
Hamsik asking Reina to keep himself warmed up, and concedes a corner.
Well, the coach won't be happy with that. He's going to make 2 substitutions once this corner's taken.
David Lopez also now being asked to come into the fray. Reina sliding across, but couldn't keep the ball in from that terrible pass back from Hamsik. Cross in by Montolivo, lazy, tired. You give it the adjective, Richard.
Yeah, it was just a hopeful ball played in there, and Koulibaly's lost nothing in the air. He has been a force of nature back there. He's bullied back off the ball. Back has drifted away out wide, and it is Insigne to come off.
And here we can see the standing ovation and the Meazza for Lorenzo Insigne. 2 goals, but also other wonderful touches, link-up play once again with Higuain. There's a joy to behold. And he comes off, replaced by Dries Mertens, who has a point to prove. And off comes Marek Hamsik, also tiring.
It's slightly tiring, but he's played his part as well. Those players can head off to international duty in confident mood. And this international break, Maurizio Sarri would have loved just to keep playing.
Especially when you see who Napoli have got up in the next round. They have travelled to Florence against the potential league leaders, Fiorentina. That is a must-see.
It definitely is. Those are the two teams have really been lighting up Serie A at the start of this season. And really opportunity to set out their title credentials.
But perhaps being top biller goes to Derby d'Italia, to Juventus. Mouth-watering encounters after the international break. Napoli cruise here with a 3-goal advantage against Sinisa Mihajlovic's Milan. Higuain yet to get on the score sheet, so he won't be being asked to be taken off.
He personally won't be too happy. There's a man who just wants to score goals. Well, of course, works for the team as well as he has done. But likes nothing than finding the back of the net.
Antonelli throw for Bonaventura.
There is one more substitution for Napoli. Let's watch this cross come in. And just out of our picture there, Higuain was gesturing over to the bench. No, not yet. He was saying, no, whoever you're going to bring on, just leave them there. He's not going on international duty. There's the free kick, but it's well struck, but still, I think Lopez, like I said, goalkeeper of his height as well. So they really have got across a lot quicker.
Dries Mertens starts his first mazy run. His possession again, and we'll start off in a second.
Similar player to Insigne to come on in that position.
It's all through the middle, looking for Callejon. Pumps into Eli. The referee plays advantage for Milan. Zapata. Montolivo. Quick ball forward, swept into the path of Luis Adriano. That's short. That's easy for Hussein.
Shocking ball, wasn't it? It really was. There's the players out there can't let their heads drop. Mihajlovic has to work on that side of the game. And they're behind. They're just the cross coming in, just ahead of Higuain. And they're being played off the pitch tonight. Still.
Again,
Simple ball, keep possession.
Yeah, Gulam making progress down the left-hand side, unopposed. Callejon.
Basically, as he has been all evening. Play him in here again. Mertens wants to.
Mertens does so. Gulam, can he pick out the cross? Looking for Higuain! His goal number 4 is an own goal by Eli.
Well, it would have been knocked in by Higuain in the end, wouldn't it? He was left behind here, and this is a complete rout of Milan at the San Siro. The fans are leaving en masse all of a sudden, and the Neapolitan fans are up on their feet all around us here. I thought I was down in Naples for a moment there. But watch this again. Gulam. Look, who would have knocked that into the back of the net? Higuain applauds it as well because the ball was aimed at him. And look at Eli and look at Zapata, both of them.
But Gulam, it just made the same run 20 seconds earlier. It hadn't been covered, and Dries Mertens said, there you go again, swinging another cross, and this time it pays off for Napoli. 1 goal at half-time, 3 in the second, and they are humiliating Milan.
Yeah, they've sent a massive message here to the rest of Serie A, but this has been a dismal performance by Milan. So many areas. Where do you start, really?
Obviously, there will be talk whether Mihajlovic will continue or whether the team will look to the plenty of coaches out of work at the moment, the likes of Vincenzo Montella. Berlusconi's never hidden his admiration for Montella and the style of football that he likes his teams to play. But you consider that even Clarence Seedorf, who's back in Milan this weekend at the Expo, is still under contract. You don't want to keep on pumping up these wage bills with coaches.
No, of course, and it's up to Mihajlovic to impose a bit of order in this side, to get them playing in a different manner. They've got to. It's just a lot of individuals out there. You know, it's simple to play, not playing as a team, but just in the build-up, the players aren't close together. While Napoli, they're always there, and it's one touch. They're doing the simple things. They don't have to over-elaborate on the passing. It's the simple passing that makes it so good. While the Milan players, Bonaventura wants to take on everybody by himself. Bacca wants to sprint forward. Montolivo wants 3 or 4 touches on the ball before he makes a pass.
There's the simple passes because you've always got an option, at least one option, because there's always movement from Napoli. The problem for Milan is that the player in possession looks up and doesn't see somebody dropping short to give him that simple option, as Napoli always have. Dries Mertens, great run by Mertens, cuts the ball back. Higuain still yet to get on the score sheet. Morley might claim goal number 4 is his. Should be another yellow card. Jorginho. There's the battle for Napoli. They're 4 goals up, but they still don't want to lose that tackle in midfield. Absolutely,
that sums it up perfectly. Even there, you're not going to allow anything to go. Higuain won't get his goal, but we'll listen to the applause. This is the San Siro, not the San Paolo.
And the Napoli scarves are being waved round the whole San Siro. To our left, that is the traditional Curva Nord, the inter part of the stadium. Gabbiadini comes on. Gabbiadini has been identified by Sarri as a straight replacement for Higuain. He's an out-and-out centre forward and not a player who will pop up on the right-hand side as he did under Mihajlovic at Sampdoria last season, to such great effect.
He's moulded into, as you say, the backup to Higuain, and he is a young player, a classy young Italian player as well. Excellent on the left foot, free kicks, and learned from Mihajlovic the free kick, and he gets his opportunity with 10 minutes remaining.
Jorginho again, a quick pass. Mertens into the path of Gabbiadini, takes on Zapata. Still Gabbiadini, nobody inside the middle.
It's a great ball as well. If somebody had taken a chance there, such as Caillon, it would have been goal number 5. That's how easy it is to cut through this Milan defence. Wonder where it leaves it, the younger players, Eli, for future matches. Through the midfielders as well. Kuczka struggling. Bertolacci, as you said, big money signing as well, failing to make an impact. We've got players on the fringes. Poli, he'll be wondering, what can I do to get a game? And hugs all round. Higuain,
for once, satisfied to come off without scoring a goal. Shows you that something has changed at the Neapolitan club. And also, Lopez has come into the game and he's just slotted into that midfield role, exchanging passes with Jorginho and Allen. Another player that Sarri has helped regain confidence.
Exactly, the belief in the players, and Sarri unheralded. Sarri, excuse me, in world football, if you like, and even in Italian football. Late entry into the top flight.
Yeah, to get everybody surprised with the quality football played by his Empoli and their return to Serie A last season. Question marks were asked after the first couple of rounds. First round loss at Sassuolo. Crossed into the middle by Caillon, looking for Gabbiadini. Diego Lopez happy to see the ball go out of play, as Pauli will be the final change for Milan. Now what can NAPOLITUBE to this match with the score at 4-0.
Well, nothing would be the simple answer to that. You bring a player on there, a player who's probably thinking, why am I not in the starting lineup? If you want someone who's out there battling for you, and Paulie's a player who does that, and doesn't have great creativity, but gets the ball down, passes it around, movement. You'll be wondering why he's on the fringes of the team. Honda as well, and I tell you what, Nigel de Jong in the centre of midfield, he'll be wondering what's happened, and he's sitting on the bench watching the midfield be torn apart by this Napoli side.
Bonaventura booked in the first half. Has pulled back at the shirt of Husai. The referee just ignores the fact that could have been a bookable offence. But last week, Kucka was meant to be the revelation, as he came on in the second half against Genoa. Hasn't displayed anything from kick-off this evening. De Sciglio tidying up here, but he has been in great difficulty in the second half. Alan Callahan will play the ball across the face of goal. Gabbiadini, the ball right at his feet inside the 6-yard box. Couldn't divert it into the back of the net for goal number 5.
And once again, the ball was just played over the top. De Sciglio hooked it back into midfield. Napoli players were swarming forward. Thank you very much. We're going to go and score number 5.
This shows the hunger of the Napoli side. They scored 5 goals against Lazio.
Absolutely, that was at home at the San Paolo. This is at the San Siro against Milan.
Yeah, the Biancocelesti coach said it didn't recognise his team. That wasn't because they played that badly. It's just that Napoli played so well. And when everything clicks into place, they're very impressive. When it doesn't, then they can be held to a 0-0 draw by Carpi.
But as we said before kick-off, the league table starting to take shape now, with the title contenders all starting to pick up points and starting to play well, scoring goals. Roma got 4 this afternoon on a Palermo.
Juventus got 3.
Was at home against Bologna, and Napoli, they've got 4 as well.
And by stating that, Richard, you're saying that Milan cannot be included in that group of teams as potential title contenders. They're already written off for the remainder of the season. We're only round 7.
Absolutely, but over the last two weekends, didn't turn up against Genoa in the first half. We paid for it, and this evening just been swept away by Napoli. And Mihajlovic has a lot of players away on international duty as well, so that's not going to do his mood much good. He's going to be working with a very small squad, but more than anything, it's just getting the game plan, getting the players' heads together as well, and to play as a team. But you can't just do everything by yourself and hope to just run through the opposition alone. You've got to construct the play, and Milan just haven't done that this evening.
Bonaventura. Husai. Has he got the corner kick out of it? He has. Ball won back in midfield from Pauli, as you said. Hard-working midfielder, puts in the tackles in midfield. He's not glamorous, but he is effective.
Yeah, and you need that platform. You know, De Jong coming back in, Pauli, Bonaventura.
Corner kicks in, and who's Adriano? Goes to ground. But there has been infringement for a foul.
Well, they look weary, don't they? And it's Napoli who played Thursday night. They were travelling away on the European football, not Milan.
Callahan adjusts to a fouled Antonelli. Antonelli was backpedaling. He seemed to understand exactly where the ball was going to arrive. As we get a close-up of Sinisa Mihajlovic. Clearly unhappy, and that's putting it kindly.
Well, the good thing about Mihajlovic is he'll come out and say it as well, know where the defects are in the side.
Yeah, coach, he speaks his heart in the press conferences, unlike more caged players in front of the press. Sort of Mancini. and Allegri. Also in the stands today, Antonio Conte. It's all about keeping the disagreements inside the dressing room.
Well, that can work as well, and Milan never sort of a club that allow any disagreements to go outside the dressing room. They need a big lift somewhere. And the return of Mario Balotelli help. And the players, again, he's an individual on the side. Still feel you need the hard workers, the De Jong, Poli, just build that strong platform.
But De Jong, and he has played, he's been criticised for being too slow. Here's Bacca on a solo run. Bacca!
Free kick. Can get the shot away.
De Jong playing too deep, being too predictable when possession, being too slow in releasing the passes. He needs a creative midfielder beside him, which means going back to the drawing board. Perhaps Mihajlovic has got to drop this idea of a trequartista and just play with a more attack-minded midfielder in front of the solid wall.
I don't know if that was a foul. I think Bacca just kicked the ground. Another player looking very tired, very weary. It's strange, just feeling around that Milan side.
Chance for consolation for Milan.
There's only one player over the ball.
Bonaventura.
That's it.
Scored a goal against Palermo from a free kick.
He'll be looking towards the left-hand side. Take a lot. Put it to the other side. He'll be taking 2 steps across.
Straight at Reina.
Oh dear. He's going the other side and just chip. You see there, he did go the other side and then straight the goalkeeper. He had that hole of the left-hand side gaping wide open just to float the ball over the top.
Napoli keeping a clean sheet at the Miazza. The referee doesn't have any time at all in the second half, which has been a rout for Napoli against Milan. The away side win by 4-0.
Absolutely. Napoli setting out their title credentials. Milan, so much work to do, but it's all about Napoli this evening. A great victory for them.
That's all from Paul Visca.
And me, Richard Whittle.
Thank you, good evening, and join us again for Serie A after the international break.